The Prime Minister here in New Zealand says leadership must come from the top. The Prime Minister says this pay cut that she has announced today that will apply to not only herself but government ministers and top public servants won't do a whole lot to drastically improve the government's books. This is really a symbolic gesture by the Kiwi leader Jacinda Ardern, who admits at this stage this is only an in-principle decision. The government will now work through the mechanism to ensure that this pay cut does happen. It will be a 20% pay cut over a 6-month period. For Prime Minister Ardern, the pay cut will be worth roughly $47,000. That's 1/10 of her annual salary. Here's the New Zealand leader explaining why she felt it was important to take this wage cut.
We feel acutely the struggle that many New Zealanders are facing, and so too do the people that I work with on a daily basis. And while it in itself won't shift the government's overall fiscal position, it is about leadership.
Now, Ash, the opposition leader here in New Zealand, Simon Bridges, has also announced following Jacinda Ardern's decision that he will join in. He will voluntarily also take on a 20% pay cut for the next 6 months. Meanwhile, across the Tasman in Australia, the Treasurer, Josh Frydenberg, he maintains that a wage freeze that is already in place is the best option.
Well, as you know, we've frozen the pay increases for politicians here and for public servants. And Anthony Albanese was asked this question, and Matthias Cormann have been asked this question, and they've given the answers that. Well, again, that's the action that we've taken.
Oh, we've already said there won't be any pay rises or any of those changes right across the public service, and this is not something that's currently before us.
Not a 20% pay cut, though?
It's not something that's been considered.
So, Ash, the Prime Minister Scott Morrison on radio a short time ago, quite emphatic, categorically ruling out following the New Zealand Prime Minister Jacinda Ardern's decision to implement this 20% pay cut for herself, for all government ministers and top public servants.